Alright, hello, Professor Ellison, or anyone that's watching this, really. But this is my final multimedia presentation, so I'll just be answering the questions that were listed on the assignment. Why did I choose my topic for my website? I chose it because, well, first of all, the topic that I chose was to present myself as like a content creator, like Twitch and YouTube, streaming and creating videos. And I even have written a couple articles about the 2K League recently. So I chose to present myself as a content creator and a competitive 2K player because it's something that I'm the most passionate about, and that it's something that I've put like multiple years into doing since like 2017. I've been playing 2K and creating videos and streaming it and playing in tournaments, like going down to Dallas and competing in the Dallas Mavericks tournament to get into the league. So it's just something that I'm really passionate about, and although I don't really want to be a player in the league anymore, the dream is still the same, but the angle has changed. Like, I still want to be in the league, but I would rather be a scout or a writer for the league, or a manager, like hopefully a manager in the 2K League instead of a player. I'm just really proud to show that off because I put in so much work into it. So I was really excited to show that off on a website and a podcast, which I'll be talking about in a second. I used the Adobe Spark to create the website. I didn't really have any specific reason, except I used Wix to create a website for myself in a high school class, and I remembered that I didn't really like it that much, so I just wanted to try something new. Like, Wix is still great, but I just wanted to try something new, so I used Adobe Spark. Why is my topic significant to me? It's really significant, like I said before, just because of the time I've put into it in the past 3 or 4 or so years. Growing up, I really wanted to play baseball, but getting finished up with that before my freshman year of high school, I just needed something else to put my competitive nature into, because I'm really competitive when it comes to sports and just like anything really. Like, I like winning. Winning is fun to me, so I just needed somewhere else to put my time into it. And so getting involved in 2K that's like the most time I've put into anything in the last 4 years, more than school, more than work. That's where most of my time has been spent, is working on being a better player. But more recently, I've been like watching other players and scouting them and creating a couple articles on up and coming prospects for the league. So I'm just very passionate about all of that, and so I'm excited to keep doing that. What topic did I choose for my podcast, and why? The topic I chose for my podcast was the same as the rest. I'm just really passionate about it, so like, any chance that I get to talk about it is like, I take that chance, and I just do as much as I can with it. But I wanted to speak more in depth about the 2K League and like how it functions, rather than my side of the story, like as a player and content creator. And that was my goal with the podcast going in. Once I started, I realized I didn't really have as much time as I thought I would. I thought 5 minutes would be plenty of time, but it runs out quick when you're doing an intro and an outro. And so really, like, as a content creator, I've like gotten my intros and outros like down, but they take around a minute, because it's just like, you want to make sure that you're covering everything that you talked about and just like summarizing everything that's going to be talked about. That's usually like how the best pieces get more views. Is like, if you're clear about what you're going to talk about, then more people will be interested in, like, to start listening. You can't just start out of nowhere, because people don't really know what you're going to get into, and so they don't know what you're going to be talking about next, and that's the biggest thing. So they'll listen to the first topic, and then they're like, I don't know if this dude's going to ramble or if he's going to be short and concise. But yeah, so I just wanted to get into how the league works and everything rather than my experience as a player in it. So, but I do have a lot of like insight into how the league works because I've been through the draft process as a prospect, and I know what it can be like for GMs because I've spoken to those GMs and coaches and players that are involved in that process, like for their organization. So I know how that looks like from their side as well. So I have a lot of insight as to how the process works, and I was just really excited to speak on that further. And I did realize 5 minutes is not near enough time to really get into the topic that you want to, but I understand the goal for that was just to like understand how to create a podcast and what you're doing and how to do it effectively. So then it wasn't really just about talking about your topic. So did you find the podcast enjoyable? Why or why not? I absolutely found the podcast enjoyable. I listen to podcasts all the time. I've even been a guest on a few podcasts about the 2K League. Last year I was on 2 or 3, but they were really just interviews. Like they were interviewing me as a prospect, so I had to tell them about myself and everything. So I didn't really get the side of like how to create one. I haven't created one myself before, so that was like something that I was really looking forward to doing. But I feel very comfortable recording myself or speaking live in front of a camera because I've been streaming on Twitch for 3 years now, and I've come close to partnership. I think twice. I've averaged around 70 viewers for a month 2 different times. So you have to get to 75 viewers to get partnership. So I was really close, but I didn't quite get there. But yeah, I'm just really comfortable in front of a camera and talking to other people like about the things that I'm passionate about. One thing I realized is that I really need to know like what I'm talking about beforehand. So like right now I went through and like answered the questions beforehand so that I could know what I was going to say and so that I could just like speak fluently. So I enjoyed that part of it, like planning it out a little bit. And then I enjoyed just talking about how I went down to Dallas and competing in that. And but we had to do some media down there as well. And so doing that in front of those cameras in the green room that they provided was pretty interesting because I hadn't really done that before. So that was very fun, and I'm just really intrigued by the social aspect of like sport management, like social media and stuff like that. And so I was really looking forward to creating the podcast. What is one thing that I learned from the class? One thing I learned from the class is that you really have to be versatile in your reach into each like social engagement. You can't just do Twitter and only Twitter. You have to know how to write articles if you're going to be on Twitter. Like Adam Schefter, who's a reporter for the NFL, or Adrian Wojnarowski, he's on TV, he's on Twitter, and he writes articles. Like, you have to be very versatile and knowing what you're doing in each different section of technology and sport management. So although those are reporters, and it's not as important to be versatile in sport management, but I still think it's very important because you have to know how to reach out to your fans and how to reach out into those media platforms like Twitter and YouTube so you can get more interest in your topic or get more interest in your team. So I've learned that is very important. What is one thing that I enjoyed doing in class? And this is the last question. So one thing that I enjoyed from this class was creating the podcast. Like I said before, I just wish I had more time to speak about it. I think that's one thing that could be improved, is that maybe 10 minutes. 10 minutes is, that's twice as much time, so that's a lot more. That's 8, because my intro and outro probably took 1 minute each, or 30 seconds, or 30 seconds to 1 minute. So, 8 minutes, that's plenty of time to cover your topic. You can't really get in depth about it in 8 minutes, but I still think that that would be quite enough time. But I really enjoyed creating it because I enjoy speaking about the 2K League and my insight as a player, like I said before, and all my experiences that I've had. So that's definitely the thing that I enjoyed the most, was creating that podcast. And one thing that I realized is that I think I kind of want to be a teacher before everything else. Like, being a teacher and then being a baseball coach was like, that's something else that I could do besides being involved in esports. Because in Missouri is where I live, so you actually don't have to like get an education degree. You can just take the praxis and then be a teacher in Missouri for high school. So I think I could like be a teacher and then bring this technology and sport management class to those students, because I really didn't know I was going to be very interested in sport management until I read about it on the Wichita State website. And so I think having that class and intro to sport management in high schools, especially like in big cities like Kansas City, Wichita, stuff like that, or cities like that, I think it'll bring a lot of new kids into that like division of sport. So I think that's something that I realized would like benefit the society as a whole. So just bringing sport more into the real world for kids, and like, it's not just a dream, is what I realized. It's very possible for you to be involved in the sport industry. So I really appreciate the class, and I really enjoyed everything that we did in here. So thank you, Professor Ellison, for putting this class together for us, and I look forward to taking more classes that you teach in the future. So thank you for watching.